Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Hannah, and I make faith-based and holistic living content here on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 steps and 3 things that I did to becoming a 4.0 student, and these 3 things transformed my life. When I first started undergrad, guys, I thought I was going to be a 4.0 student. I thought I was going to be valedictorian, but that was a rookie mistake, a rookie thinking, because that wasn't what happened. I would stay in the library probably till like 12 a.m. at nighttime. I would be working probably like 40 hours a week, some home, probably more than 40 hours. It's like a full-time job as a student. And so I spent my days in the library. I'll come home at 12 a.m. at nighttime, pulling these long, crazy hours. I didn't care about my health. I didn't care about spending time with family or friends or the things that truly mattered in life. And the punchline is that I was making mediocre to average and maybe sometimes a little bit below average grades, and I was like, what is life? And so I did 3 things. And so the first thing, I was at this low point in my life, my first and second semester of undergrad, and I stumbled upon this book called Spark. And so in this book, the author talked about this experiment that was done between 2 groups of high school students. And one group was the exercise group, and the other group was, you guessed it, the non-exercise group. So the exercise group would come into school every day, and they kept this up for a couple of months. And they would work out for 45 minutes in the morning, which is crazy. And so they would work out for 45 minutes. So they would either do cardio or they would do cycling. So something to get their heart rate up to 65 to 75% of what could be the max. And so at the end of this experiment, the author talks about how they looked at the results, and the exercise group significantly outperformed the non-exercise group, very much so in academically and then also emotionally, and they did several other things. I think God was truly speaking to me in this moment of my life, because all I cared about was getting a 4.0. All I cared about was school, and here was this thing that was telling me, hey, if you exercise, you could outperform your peers, or you could do better. And so as soon as I read that book, that next semester, I remember incorporating exercise into my routine. And so I started going to the gym, and the first few things that I noticed about it was just, one was my energy levels. I found it so much easier to wake up in the morning. Usually it was just like I would wake up groggy. I would be running on Starbucks, Starbucks coffee, matcha tea lattes. I don't know if you can relate, but those would be my things to get me up in the morning. But I started waking up in the morning, and I actually had energy. I had energy to take on the day, and that was the first thing that I noticed when I started to exercise. The second thing was bloating. I would be sitting for long periods of hours and just, you get bloated. And that was me. I used to get bloated a whole lot. Bloating, focus, and also focus. Y'all, in grad school, I had things down. I was a 4.0 student in grad school. But do your homework after a 30-minute cardio workout is try it if you haven't. The focus is just impeccable. It's beautiful. And so my focus was amazing. My bloating went down. I had energy in the morning, and I could focus. And so these were the things that I noticed straight on. And so exercise was the first thing that changed my life, and I still do it to this day. As a 26-year-old working 40 hours a week, I make sure to work out at least 3 times a week. So that is the first habit and the first tip. And so during this period of my life, I also stumbled upon a second book. And so this book was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And so in this book, he tells a story. So he gives 7 habits, and the 7th habit was sharpen the saw. What could that be about? Sharpen the saw. And so sharpen the saw was about rest. And so again, let's bring it back to where I was in that life. All I cared about was a 4.0. I didn't care about my health. I didn't care about spending time with the people that cared for me. I didn't care about all these things. And so I read this chapter, and he tells a story about this man who is sawing or cutting wood. somewhere in the woods. He's cutting wood in the woods. And so someone walks up to this man and he tells this man, so the guy's sawing and he seems tired, and his axe, the thing he's cutting the wood with, is kind of dull. And so someone walks up to him and someone tells him, you know, your sawing or your work or your job would go a little bit faster if you just sharpen the saw. If you just cut the thing, if you just sharpen the thing you're cutting wood with, the work would go faster. And so the man replies and he says to him, no, I don't have time for that. I'm too busy sawing. I'm too busy cutting to sharpen the saw. I'm too busy doing what I'm doing. I'm too busy studying. I'm too busy doing homework. I'm too busy doing these things to sharpen the saw. So sharpening the saw means taking time to rest, taking time to do the things that energize us, to do the things that rejuvenate us. You know what I'm talking about? And for me, the biggest thing in this part of my life was sleep. Sleep and rest. The biggest game changers. Resting is being part of productivity, is being part of being productive, resting is a big part of productivity, is being productive. And so at this point in my life, I started to take Saturdays off. So every Saturday I tell myself, no school, nothing. I'm not gonna read anything. I mean, like, I love reading books, but I'm not gonna read anything school related. I'm not gonna do homework. I'm not gonna work on an assignment. And so yeah, and it's counterintuitive, because you think to yourself, in this time that I could be sleeping, in this time that I could be doing my homework, I'm sleeping. Like, does that make sense? But it does make sense, because if you are tired and doing your homework, something that takes you, you know, or should take you about 30 minutes to do, you will spend about like 2.5 hours doing. And so is the math really mathing? And so take a nap when you need it. So these days I'm big on napping. I'm big on making sure I have enough time to rest. Am I sleeping? Okay. And so if I'm not sleeping, I'm grumpy. My focus is off. And so the biggest game changer to becoming a 4.0 is prioritizing sleep, prioritizing rest. So having one day a week where I would not touch school. And so on these days, I could either clean my room, do my hair, paint my nails, whatever it is, but nothing school related. So just taking a break from school. This brings me to my third tip, and my third tip that changed me and helped me become a 4.0 student is try to guess. Maybe it's on my thumbnail. But that is creating a Google Calendar. So on top of everything, I was also a scholar. I was also part of a scholars program in my undergrad tenure. And so the first thing that they made us do when we got signed on to the program was making a Google Calendar. And so maybe I'll insert a picture here or a video here, but in this Google Calendar, I would have all of my classes. I was a teaching assistant at the time, so I would have the times when I'm working as a teaching assistant blocked off. And so having your calendar laid out, and it was even connected to my phone. So the Google Calendar would then connect to my phone, and 15 minutes prior to each class, it would send me a reminder. You have a TAing session at 5 o'clock. You have Bio 101 at 2 p.m. or whatever. So 15 minutes before your class, it would send you reminders. So not thinking about your schedule, not thinking about, okay, I have this class coming up, or my week looks like this. The more that you allocate these things to technology or writing things down, the more time that your brain has to think about other things. And so being organized and having my Google Calendar was the biggest game changer of anything. And so even when I was meeting with professors, they'll be like, are you available at so-and-so time? And I'll be like, yeah. I could just give them an answer, because all I have to do is look at my calendar. So the third tip is being organized. So these are my 3 tips, guys. Thank you for watching my video. If you'd like to see more, I'll upload every week, and so you can catch my next video at here, or maybe here. Please comment down below what you would like to see, and thank you for staying tuned to hear me out today. Bye.